Morning, folks. You ever have those weekends where you're playing this game that we all enjoy, but you cannot buy a win no matter what you do? You're top 3 in damage, you are top 3 in XP, you cap the caps, you play Destroyer, Cruiser, you do tier 5, you do tier 10, you literally just can't. And then you go back to the OG ship that always works for you, and things change. Now, the OG for me is the Conqueror. She's the original fire spammer. I still love playing her. She's a good ship. Today, myself and Louise, he's in his Richtofen as always. I'd take the Conqueror out, and we have a pretty decent match. Hope you guys enjoy this one. Tell somebody you love them. Take care. Cheers. So the good old Conqueror, the OG fire spammer. She's fallen a little out of favor lately, but she's still one of my go-tos. I'm playing with Louise here. We are on the map Shards, and it's a domination game mode. And quite fortunate it's not all tier 10. We are some of the only tier 10s. There's a Booster on our side. A couple of 9s like a Rune and a Riga. And it's not my favorite map. Shards is actually quite difficult to play. And I've featured this multiple times. There was a ranked sprint at some stage, and I was in my North Carolina. And while I hated the map, I actually had an amazing game, Kraken, and a whole lot of other achievements here. So the Conqueror, you'll see I'm sporting the free XP, or the free XP galore camera as I call it. So I'm trying to grind as much free XP as possible at the moment. I'd like to try and get this Smalland before it's removed for free XP. Smalland is 2 million free XP, and I'm just over a million. So yeah, it's a little rough. Now I'm heading down to A. There's an ARP Takao, an Alabama, and Edinburgh going that way. Or Oosterjutland is going for the B cap. C cap looks a little heavy. High School Fleet Harakazi going there. Rune, Massachusetts, and I can't quite make out the other ship there on the mini map. Now, the Conqueror. Originally, she was one of the favorite ships in the game, the favorite tier 10 battleship, because she has a really amazing fire chance, close to 50% depending on if you spec. And as you can see there, about 8,000 off that Bismarck, and I set a fire. Yeah, coming back to it, she has amazing fire starting potential. She fires 12 shells, and she can reach out to roughly 24 odd kilometers, 24.3 to be exact. And back in the day, 2-3 years ago in clan battles, tier 10, this was the only thing you would see. Lots of Conquerors at the back line just burning everything down. She has very weak armor. She's not a Kremlin, she is not a Grosser first, and as the meta has changed, unfortunately she has fallen a little bit out of favor. Then the other great thing about her is fire damage. She gets what's called the British super heal. From the Lion at tier 9, and I think the Goliath and some of the cruisers, they get amazing heals. And you'll see that a little bit later in this match. Conqueror, though, for me was the ship that allowed me to get my Battleship Mastery badge. And I'm speaking under correction here, but I think that is an average of 107,000 damage over the last 100 games. So I noticed I was at 103, and I played the Conqueror for a good few weeks. And she regularly gets fairly high score games because of the fire damage, and thus she allowed me to fairly easily get my Battleship Mastery badge. Now, unfortunately, as the meta has changed, she has fallen out of favor, and you don't really see her that often. A lot of people feel that the Thunderer is better. The Thunderer has bigger caliber guns, even though it has less guns. Thunderer has much higher fire chance. I think the fire chance on the Thunderer's guns are 67%. But as you can see there, that Bismarck of earlier, double fire on him, he damage controls it. And people, that's what you do. A single fire, you let it burn. Double fires, you put that out. Now, we've already lost B cap. They are taking C cap, and we're struggling to take A cap. So I'm sitting here thinking, oh my goodness, this is going to be another one of those weekend matches. And the weekend matches has been atrocious. I do about 7,000 damage on that Prince Eugen over there. I'm trying to stay out of the attention span of this Kremlin. They're around about G3. Kremlin will punch holes through me like there's no tomorrow. Prince Eugen is turning broadside. I don't even need to change to AP. The British HE is strong enough that you can actually Citadel cruisers with it. And that's a great surprise to a cruiser when it turns in front of a Conqueror and it sees HE being fired. And it thinks, hey, I'm safe. I'm going to take HE damage. I can heal it up. You can't Citadel me. And then he gets completely and utterly demolished. So, the Conqueror, she is still a great ship, and a ship I do enjoy playing quite often. But like I said, she has been overshadowed by the Thunderer quite heavily. Unfortunately, there, Richthofen knocks out our Alabama. Our Riga has taken out that Bismarck that I was shooting at earlier. They've got C cap right at the top. They are contesting B cap. And now Oosterrutland manages to take out the Fletcher. So we're up on ship kills, but we're down on caps. And that needs to happen. Now this Edinburgh is actually quite brave because there's a Buffalo and a Kremlin still there, and he's just sailing broadside. And somebody is super upset. Fuck you, CV. Total bullshit crap. Overpowered bullshit. Wow. He's angry. Fact of the matter is, CVs are broken. We all know it. And Wargaming's not going to change it anytime soon. So, deal with it. I notice this Kremlin coming out here, and he's doing a very strong push. Managed to get a fire on him and about 12,000-13,000 damage. But it's not something I want to fight head to head. And there you can see why. He just did 16,000-17,000 damage on me in one shot there. This thing has no armor. See the Goliath coming in there. And I notice the Kremlin is burning. And you'll see, I'm not even bothering to put out 2 fires. My captain's skills puts these fires out easily in about 30 seconds. And did you notice the amazing heal that this thing has to heal up fire damage the moment that it starts? Now this Goliath is super brave going broadside here. Ooh. That was about 12,000-13,000 damage. He was super lucky not to get citadeled. I did aim quite high. They are pushing that Riga quite heavily. And pulling back, I do not want to engage one-on-one with that Kremlin. I don't mind the HE damage. The HE damage I can heal back. And you'll notice that grey bar there is a bar that I can heal back. So that doesn't matter to me. I call Louise on Discord and I say to him, hey, but can we do something about this Kremlin here? He's pushing that Riga very heavily. And he's very low on health. Unfortunately, that Goliath takes up that Riga. And I just don't get the shots on that Kremlin that I need. Thankfully, our Worcester and that Edinburgh has managed to turn B cap. And I get 3 fires on that buffalo. Oh, this thing's fire setting potential is sometimes insane. Buffalo moves behind this island there, and there's a very brave ARP car going up there. I see the Goliath notices that I've shot at him, and there's another 2 fires. I decide this time, you know what, I'm not going to give him the satisfaction of all that damage. I'm going to damage control it. It takes a little while, and can't set a fire for the next sort of 9 seconds. That ARP Takao actually managed to torpedo that buffalo. I'm super impressed about that. Problem is this Kremlin is pushing out, and an ARP Takao versus a Kremlin is not a fight I would like to take. One of my most popular videos on the channel is the ARP Takao viable? And as I get double fires on that Goliath, I think they are going to burn. Kremlin gets a close quarters expert, a secondary kill on the ARP Takao. Now we are behind on cap points, but at least we've got B cap, they've got C cap, and A cap is being heavily contested here. Kremlin comes out again. Full broadside, and he's only got 3,500 hit points. I get another fire on him. Manages to heal up. As you can see, I take quite a nasty knock there. So he's healing up. I have a faint suspicion that he had Kuznetsov. But if Kuznetsov had procced, this fire wouldn't be burning. So it could be just a normal. Thankfully, with the HE damage there, I managed to take him out. And that's my second kill of the match. Now we are up. They're up on points. We're equal on kills. And this Goliath has decided that he is going to make a play for the A cap to try and get even more points on. He gets smacked hard by the Edinburgh. And 3 penetrations. And I get my 3rd kill for the match. Up on the C cap of Massachusetts takes out an enemy Bismarck. And suddenly, this tide of this match has completely turned. We're at 5 ships up to 3. I'm at 150,000 damage. And this is damage that just stacked up quite easily through shooting at the various targets that were in the A cap. So I type in chat there, sorry Goliath, older brother says go back to port. And I see that people are still complaining about CVs, still complaining about how overpowered it is. And I mean, even Louise will tell you, and he plays a CV a lot. He showed me the other day, I think he had over 2 million XP in his MVR. And even he will tell you it's kind of broken. So I take a Hail Mary shot at this, their Edinburgh up there. Don't think any of it's going to hit. Our Edinburgh has moved in and taken the A cap. Well, he is busy taking A cap. Didn't want to take it or leave it to chance. He can't take it to chance. Didn't want to leave it to chance. Edinburgh smokes up. But I noticed where he smoked up, and I throw 12 more high explosive shells at him. Unfortunately, it seems I did not hit any of them. So he is farming on Massachusetts, and you'll notice there's a whole bunch of comments about this Massachusetts. Louise gets his Confederate, and he's done a hell of a lot of damage to a whole bunch of ships. So this Edinburgh has taken A cap and is now moving up with us. Minimap shows me there is the Edinburgh, a Manfred von Richthofen, and a North Carolina. And there is the North Carolina coming. And again, kudos to the North Carolina player. He decided not to go and sit in the corner of the map there in A9 or A1. He wanted to come for a fight. And I can respect that. You know, kudos to him for that. I managed to set a fire on him. The fire is burning. He's not an idiot. He doesn't damage control a single fire. He waits for 2 fires and then he'll do it. Unfortunately, there is the second fire. And unless he has used his damage control, and he cannot damage control the fires, that will now burn for a little while. But he is charging straight in. And they are still complaining about the poor Massachusetts shooting HE. I fumbled that shot quite nicely. Now, notice they're not complaining about me shooting HE. Because, ooh, and he hits me for 11,700 there. That was nasty. Louise, in his Richthofen, kills off that Carolina, and I see there's Edinburgh coming. Now, one of the things to remember with a Conqueror is your shells travel slow. 2 fires, 2 incapacitations on that Edinburgh over there, and the friendly Edinburgh finishes him off. Now, we've got 2 caps, and there is literally only the enemy Manfred von Richthofen remaining. And he's still trying to make a play of it. I see him start turning my turrets. Front turrets turn fairly easily. But he is behind the mountain. So we're going to have to go and flush him out. He is not moving as per the indicator on top there, the red dot. And the one guy says, in before their MVR detonates ours. And then somebody types, no, he just kills everything. And, you know, MVP on their team. And that's the thing. Now notice what Louise is doing here, the utter nutcase. He's not sitting where he spawned around I-7. He's moved his Richthofen right up into the fight. The man is a absolute nutcase in his Richthofen. A very good Richthofen nutcase, but still a utter nutcase. So it's obviously a whole bunch of planes. I mean, we literally can't get to him before I can get past this island. And my Conqueror is doing all of 28.9 knots. Not the fastest battleship out there. It's not the slowest. I mean, it's not a Kansas or a Oklahoma, but it's not the fastest. And there I see him. Double fires. I think they burn for 5 seconds. And here's the surprising thing about the Richthofen. It has got ridiculously good secondaries. I have seen so many destroyers, including Hollands, get too close to a Richthofen, and the person has got some secondary skills invested in the captain, and he kills the destroyer. So that was a good chunk, about 16, 17,000 to him there. I get high caliber. And they're still going on in chat about the Massachusetts that was shooting our explosive. Again, nobody says anything about me shooting our explosive. I made a bit of a mistake here. I should have switched over to armored piercing instead of using HE. 7 of those shots shattered. And that Edinburgh manages to kill the Richthofen. So let's look at the post screen for this Conqueror match. 10,900 damage. It was the first win of the day for the Conqueror. 10,000 XP. Well, almost 11,000 XP. 202,000 damage. 460,000 credits. Confederate. Fireproof Dreadnought. Yeah, a whole bunch of awards there. 3 kills, 7 incapacitations, 18 fires. This thing is just still so broken. And if we look at the standings, that Edinburgh got just a little bit more XP than me, and there's two factors for that. Number one, he capped A, and the second thing is he was a tier 8 in a tier 10 match that survived. Second on the team, myself. Third on the team, Louise. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed this very simple Conqueror replay. She is the OG fire starter, but she is still very, very good.